Sometimes you may want to move certain elements behind or in front of another to get an interesting and creative design on your website, or just to position it in a specific way. Today, we'll be discussing the Z-index property, some common guidelines, and how you can use it in your own projects. To explain it simply, the Z-index property specifies the stack order of any element on your web page. This means that it determines if an element should appear in front or behind another element. The element with the highest Z-index value will always appear in front of another element with a lower value. On the right over here, I've prepared two boxes for us today. The first box is white and the second one is gray. Without applying the Z-index property yet, we can move box 2 over here over onto box 1. In this case though, I'll use margin as it is much simpler to demonstrate. So I'll target box 2 over here and then I'll target margin left. So margin left, and then I'll go with the negative 180 pixels. And if I save that, box 2 should be above box 1. Now from here, I want us to look at our HTML over here. I want you to take the note of the fact that the first box appears first in the document and the second box appears second. What this means is that any element further down in the document that is added, like if you added a box 3 over here, they would have a higher stacking order compared to the element that appears first, like box 1 over here. That's why when we targeted the margin left of box 2 over here, it appears in box 1 instead of the other way around. Now by default, all HTML elements have static positioning. This is important as you can't use the Z-index property unless the position for an element is either relative or positive. So right now I'll give both of these boxes a position of relative. So position relative, I'm just going to copy that over to box 2 as well. Now we can use the Z-index property without too much trouble. So now as you can see over here, we have box 2 appearing in front of box 1. So if you wanted box 1 to appear in front of box 2, we would have to make sure that the Z-index of box 1 is much higher than that of box 2. So I'll give the first box a Z-index of like 20. So Z-index over here and then 20. And in the second box, I'll give it a Z-index of 10. And now if I save that, they should both change the positions they were in. Now what you'll notice over here is that the text from box 2 behind box 1 is overlapped by box 1. This is another thing I would like you guys to take note of. Box 2 over here, as you can see in the HTML, is the parent element. So we can go right here and just minimize it. So this is the parent element. And inside of that is the h2 text that we have over here, and that's the child element of box 2. If the Z-index of a parent is much lower than another element like box 1 over here, then all of its children elements take that same Z-index. This means that we can't make box 2 appear behind box 1, but then want its child elements like box 2, the text, to appear in front of box 1. The only way you would solve this is either by having text in the first box over here, or have another third element that's going to appear in the center of these two boxes. In this video, I've briefly touched upon the positioning attribute as well as the margin attribute. I've discussed both of these in much more depth in my other videos if you want to get a better understanding of these topics. But I think that's about it when it comes to the Z-index in CSS. You can create a lot of interesting designs with it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and with that, I'll see you in the next one.